What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Lewis, and on today's video we are going to take the 21 bowling balls on the current Motiv ball chart, and we are going to rank them from 21st all the way to first, 21st being the worst, all the way to first being the best. Now, a few caveats here. This is not going to be like my top, like ranking all my balls that came out in 2025, because that list won't come out till maybe mid-November, because there's still one more ball that's going to be released this year. And while I don't think that ball will be the #1 ball this year, just because of how late it comes out in the year, I still think it would be fair for me to throw that ball, review it, have some time with it before I ultimately put it on the list. So look for that video like in mid-November. Here we're just going to rank all 21 balls on the current ball chart, and we're going to rank them like all time. So it's not just how they are in my arsenal right now, but where I think they fit in the all-time Motiv list. Now, some of these balls that are on the ball chart, like the Evoke, for example, is technically discontinued, but it's still on the ball chart, so I'm still going to include it on the list. I will let you know if I've only thrown them one-handed, if I'm only thrown them two-handed, or in some cases where I have actually thrown them both, and a few of the balls I have not thrown at all. So whenever we get to those situations, I will let you guys know. As always, if you'd like to order one of my limited edition chamois, this is a breast cancer awareness one. I am recording this on October the 18th. So there's still a few, like 2 weeks left in the month. So if you want to order one, use the link down below in the description. And actually, if you want one of these as well, one of just the traditional 500 grit ones, there are some, actually there's a bunch online because we just got a restock, but if you're in Vegas and you go to JB Bowling Supply, you can actually pick one up in store, which is honestly pretty cool. Shout out to Chick-fil-A for my drink of the day. This is their cherry berry Sprite. It's actually really good. So yeah, so we're going to start at the very bottom, being the 21st ball on this list is the Ascend, all four colors of the Ascend. It's the balls that are that weak usually don't match up with me. They never have. I didn't throw any of these one-handed. I only threw these two-handed, and they were just like far too weak to really use, especially for where I bowl at South Point. Like, my league shot is flooded. And I typically stay a little bit higher on the ball chart. I reviewed all four of these balls at Sunset Station, where there was a ton of friction, and that would probably be the best scenario for them. I think that if I bowled at like Samstown, for example, or just a very high friction center, I think I would like these maybe a little bit more. But as of right now, I'm not a fan. And so the next three balls on the list, I have never thrown. So, but they all kind of fit that same, like the number 20 ball and the 19 ball are the Thrill Solid and the Thrill Pearl. Never had any of those balls. Those are the only two balls. There's three balls on the ball chart that I've never thrown. And, like the Ascend, I never get that low into the arsenal where I'll need something like a Thrill Pearl or a Thrill Solid. I've heard good things about them. Maybe it's unfair to put them this low, but I can't justify putting them higher because I have never thrown them. All right, so just keep that in mind. Same thing with number 18. 18 is the Hypervenom. I've had a lot of people request for me to review them. However, I don't have one. I don't, I'm not going to buy one to review a ball that's a couple years old now. If I can find one that's a little bit, that's used, maybe single drill two-handed, that's not like super beat up, maybe I'll pick one up. But yeah, until then, it's just going to remain down there. Number 17 on the list is the Supra Clutch. I wasn't a fan. I think there's a lot of balls on this ball chart that are significantly better than the Supra Clutch. I think it's not as quick as it needed to be. Like, I think it's a little smooth like it doesn't come around the corner as much as it needs to be for being that far right on the ball chart. If that makes sense. I know a lot of people that really did like the super clutch. If I'm trying to remember if I only drilled this one two-handed. I think I might have only drilled this one two-handed. Matter of fact, let me check here real quick. SUPRA. Please excuse me while I search this. I should have done. Let's see. Let's fast forward. I'm just watching one of my videos here. Yep, that looks like I drilled it two-handed. I fast forwarded to 2 minutes 48 seconds on the video. Let's see. I fell off the shot. Oh, struck. Actually, that shot was really good. But yeah, it wasn't as quick as I think it needed to be. Let me check the specs on this ball. I was actually very excited about this because it was the Quadfire core, and I really, really like the Quadfire core. I mean, those core numbers 255043 are pretty magical. You know, if that RG could have come down a little bit to, like, let's say 250, I think that would have been like perfect. You know, like a ball with those kind of core numbers, 250, 040 something, I think would be like amazing. The cover was the Propulsion XRT Hybrid, and I think that's what did it back. Like if you would have maybe just made that a pearl and get it to be a little bit, you know, quicker down lane. Yeah, I mean, it's one that I really wanted to like. I love the colors, and I'm not going to spend too much time on that ball. It's just that's the one that really let me down this year. Next ball was the Evoke, the original Evoke, obviously. I only had that one one-handed, and I drilled that while I was a free agent. And, you know, at the time, there was so many asymmetric solids, even amongst the Motiv ball chart. And the Evoke, I liked the colors. I liked how loud it was. Like, you instantly knew when someone was throwing that ball. However, there's other better ASIM solid options in the lineup for sure. Next one, Max Throw Hybrid. Now, the reason I put this higher than the Max Throw Solid, Max Throw Pearl is because this ball outhooks its price point by a mile. I'm looking here, the core numbers. It's the halogen core, which was in the Hydra, I think it was. 255037 Turmoil XP3 Hybrid Reactive. Yeah, that ball outhooked its price point by a mile. If you want a like entry-level ball that, you know, outhooks its price point, really take a look at that Max Throw Hybrid. 14 Sub-Zero Forge. The Sub-Zero Forge was really, really good. Had the Raptor never come out, the Sub-Zero Forge probably would have been a little bit higher. But when the Raptor does everything that the Sub-Zero Forge does, plus, yeah, you know, I guess the only scenario where I would throw a Sub-Zero Forge over a Raptor is if I intentionally wanted the ball to be a little bit more forward. So like if I was bowling on like a short pattern, let's say 37 feet or below, and I didn't really want to throw urethane, like in that specific situation, I think the Sub-Zero Forge would be better than the Raptor Rain. But in my experience and my testing, I think that the Raptor Rain is a far superior ball. And if we take a look at the core numbers, it's the Detonator with the Leverage MXC Solid 247055. And the Raptor Rain is the Leverage MXV Solid 248055. So very similar core numbers. Same base formula for the cover. However, the Raptor just does everything that the Sub-Zero, I think, was supposed to do. And for those reasons, it's at number 14. Number 13 is the Crimson Jackal. This is one that I only threw two-handed. And it was, you know, I reviewed it much, much later than when it first came out. But this ball was, I think I've mentioned this in this channel before. When I first got it, I spoke to a few staffers, like, hey, like, what do you guys think? How should I drill this? Blah, 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 blah. And they all said, hey, make sure you make that valve angle low because it's very smooth. And then I threw it and that thing went absolutely sideways. It's a good ball. However, there are a lot of asymmetric pearls that we have, or one in particular, that we have that just, brings it down a little bit. It's the Propulsion HV Pearl with the Predator V2 core, 247, 054, 015. And all these core numbers that I mentioned, by the way, are in 15 pounds. But yeah, the Crimson Jackal is really, really good. Number 12 on the list is the Pride Liberty. This is one that I only drilled one-handed. And I haven't had one in a while. And I think I might want to try to order one and drill it two-handed. Because one of the things I really liked about that Pride Liberty was that it was a hybrid, but it really came around the corner. It really got through the fronts and really, it was very, okay, maybe not around the corner, but it was round. It was very, very round. It's the dynamic propulsion hybrid with the Dominion core, right? 250, 042. Wink, wink. We were just talking about those type of core numbers, like the super clutch, right? Bringing that RG down a little bit. So it's 250, 042, 010. So like a baby intermediate diff. I'm going to mark this one down here on my phone as one that I want to take a look at one more time. Coming in at number 11 now, so just outside the top 10. Primal Rage Evolution. It's not my favorite Primal of all time. Like I think I preferred the Primal Rage LE, the 5-year one. There's just something about this ball that it didn't see it like I really wanted it to. It's the Propulsion FYJ Pearl Reactive with the Impulse V2 core, 255050. It's a good ball. It's not a bad ball, but I couldn't put it in my top 10. All right, just couldn't put it in my top 10. Okay, so here we go. Now we are in the top 10. Coming in at number 10 is, it's actually, wow, I can't believe I put it this low, is the Lethal Venom. That might be a crime. Let me look here. Yeah, I mean, 2025 was a really good year. I'm looking at my list. Yeah, I mean, every ball ahead of it I like more, but it's a crime to put the Lethal Venom at number 10. But this is one of those asymmetric Venoms. It's the Gear APG core. Cover is Leverage MXC Solid. Comes out of box at 3,000 grit, so in 15 pounds, 247, 036, 013 intermediate differential. So low RG, low differential, pretty low int diff. This is the prototypical benchmark ball. Keep it in front of you. Don't really give away the lane a whole lot. Now, I've seen people throw this at like 4,000 and even with polish, and it does have some giddy up down lane. But for me, I liked it with surface, shut the angles down, keep it in front of you. Coming in at number 9 is one that I think eventually will be higher on this list, but it is, relatively new. It released on August 13th. Today is October 18th. So it's only been out for 2 months. Of course, we're talking about the Steel Forge. Like I said, if we redo this list in 3 or 4 months, this ball can easily be in the top 5. It's a really, really good ball. I drilled one of them one-handed and 2 of them two-handed. And I like it one-handed. I don't love it one-handed, but god damn, I like it two-handed. It's really, really good. It's the Detonator core, same core that's in the Sub-Zero Forge, but it's the Propulsion MXV Pearl, which, as you guys know, is just the magic formula pearl right now for Motiv. 5,000 grit LSS, 247, 055. I shine this ball. I usually hit it with a 1,000 pad and then like a compound polish. If you know, you know. And then that just makes it like super clean and incredibly quick down lane. So that's number 9. Honestly, I can swap 8 and 9. So let's say the Steel Forge is really number 8. Number 9 will be the Raptor Rain. Again, this one's only been out for, actually technically hasn't even come out yet because I'm filming this on the 18th. But I feel confident in switching the Steel Forge and the I wrote this list down last night at like 4 in the morning. I was half asleep. So yeah, Steel Forge I think for sure could be number 8. Raptor Rain will be number 9. Let's do that. And yeah, you know, it's that Affliction V2 core, so, you know, 248055 with the Leverage MXV solid reactive cover stock, 2000 out the box, which is a ton of surface. I usually keep mine at a 3000 finish for the record. It's really good. You know, it doesn't bail down lane like the Sub-Zero. It actually wants to round the corner. And I say round because it's not angular at all. It's very, very smooth, very continuous. And I don't like that word because the staffers of all brands, not just Motiv, they use, oh, it's early and it's continuous and, you know, whatever. So yeah, that's going to be the Raptor Rain at number 9, Steel Forge at number 8, number 7, Shadow Tank. This is one that I had, I don't know, like, in some aspects of my mind, I had high hopes, and in some aspects, I had like next to no hopes at all. Right, the Desert Tank is probably my favorite Motiv ball of all time. This has the same core, same base formula for the cover, so in that regard, you know, it had really high expectations. Plus, it's purple and black. But another vein is that 78 hardness. I've thrown 2 other 78 hardness balls. You guys can do the math on that. I didn't very much like either of them. So because of that, I was like, man, it must be a hardness thing, blah, blah, blah. And I was very, very pleasantly surprised. I actually drilled 2 of them, both of them one-handed. The stronger drilled one I really, really liked. The weaker drilled one I didn't like as much. So I actually plugged the weaker drilled one, and I'm gonna review it two-handed. So today's Saturday the 18th. I'm gonna film it tomorrow the 19th, the day that this video goes live. So by the time this video goes live, I'll be at the bowling alley already reviewing the Shadow Tank two-handed, just because I want to see if it's any good two-handed or not. So that's the Shadow Tank. Number 6, Primal Ghost. This is easily top 2 favorite Primal balls for me of all time. Number 1 has been, is, and always will be the Primal Rage Remix. There we go. The black and green's gray one, I think I want to say. But yeah, Primal Ghost is so freaking good, man. Like one-handed, it was really good. Keeping it in front of me. And I like it more two-handed. Two-handed, it's a, you know, if I hit it with a little bit of surface, it's pretty smooth on the fresh. And then if I hit it with like a 3,000 or 4,000 pad, it is like really, really good as a go-to ball when I gotta get left and just like shove it into the friction. Again, it's not an angular ball by any stretch of the imagination. It's very, very continuous. And it's the same cover that's on the Jackal Ghost. So Coercion, what is it, HFS with the Impulse V2 core, out of the box at 3,000. I usually keep it at 4,000. But yeah, that is the Primal Ghost. Now we are going into the top 5, and 4 out of the top 5 balls are asymmetrics. Yeah, I have a thing for ASIMs. But coming in at number 5 is the Jackal Onyx. This ball came out in January of this year, and you know, it felt different, right? Like it took, how can I explain this? Most ASIM solids that are this big tend to roll very, very, very forward. Then the Jackal Onyx comes out and it's every bit as round as the Jackal Ghost, but it can handle more volume. I think is a good way to explain why the Jackal Onyx is so freaky good. You know, if you sandblast this, it can be pretty forward. And I think out of the box it's 1000. Yeah, 1000 LSS. It's the Leverage HXC solid with the Predator V2 core, 247, 054, 015 for that in diff. Yeah, Jackal Onyx is really, really good. It's one of the best balls that's come out this year, and it was the first release of 2025. And while we're talking about the Jackals, let's just go right into the Jackal Ghost. I have it at number 4. You know, some people might think that's blasphemy, it's so low on the list. This ball came out in January of 2017. So it's been out on the market for 8 years now. It's the longest running asymmetric ball on the market, bar none. You know, the same Predator V2 core with the Coercion HFS cover stock, the same that's on the Primal Ghost. You know, Jackal Ghost, one of the GOAT balls. Definitely a legacy ball for Motiv. But there's a few balls that have come out in more modern times that I think are a little bit better than that ball. The number 3 ball on our list came out in March of 2023. So we're talking about 2 years now, 2.5 years working on year number 3. It is the Black Venom. And honestly, like, what's not to like about this ball? It's a solid black ball with a beautiful gold logo. That Leverage MFS solid cover stock, which you're going to see one more time on this list. It's the Gear APG core, right? So 247, 036, 013. So it is the same core that is on the Lethal Venom. And the Lethal Venom is significantly more forward. And you know, the Black Venom is second from the left, so it should be like really, really smooth. But man, that ball for me just really, really comes around the corner. And I'm looking away because I'm looking at my computer behind here. Leverage MFS solid. Yeah, really, really good ball. It's significantly quicker off the spot than the placement on the ball chart would suggest. So just keep that in mind if you're thinking about getting one. Like, I think, you know, that and the shock could be flip-flopped on the ball chart, but I think the Venom shock being dead center of the ball chart is pretty good placement for me. Okay, so 1 and 2. If you guys are fans of Motiv, then you already know what's next. And I've gone back and forth on which ball is going to be number 2, which ball is going to be number 1. And ultimately, I decided that the longevity of one of them has to take precedence over the other one. Number 2 on the list, released in March of this year, the Evoke Hysteria. I think it's the clear-cut ball of the year for 2025. I don't think it's close. I mean, definitely for Motiv, but even when you factor in all the brands, I think no ball won more titles on TV this year than the Evoke Hysteria. I mean, it was the most popular ball that the Motiv staffers drilled on tour, and I think it was like 57%, definitely in the 50s. Let's just say 55%. Of all the balls drilled for the Motiv staffers on the truck this year were Evoke Hysterias. And this ball could have been number 1, and it probably should be number 1, because what they figured out with this cover, this Propulsion MXV Pearl, it is disgusting. Like, you know, like Frank's Red Hot, I put that on everything. Yeah, let's put that cover on everything. Like, it is so freaky good, this ball. I've drilled 3 of them. 2 of them one-handed, right? Yeah, I have a pin up and a pin down. And then I have a 2-handed drilled Evoke Hysteria. The 2-handed one I keep polished. I hit it with that same finish as the Steel Forge. So 1000 Aberlon pad followed by a compound polish. And then I have a pin up one and a pin down one, one-handed. The pin up one I keep with like 2,000 sanded, and then the pin down one at 4,000, and it basically looks polished. But yeah, Evoke Hysteria's ball of the year. It's not even close. I mean, when I do my rankings, you know, shocker, it's going to be number 1 for 2025. But I was saying that even when I wasn't on Motiv staff, you know, and look, I believe that every brand makes good bowling balls. You know, before I was on Motiv staff, I reviewed, you know, all the Storm balls, all the brands of Brunswick balls, the Motiv balls, and they all make really, really good stuff. I mean, pick your favorite ball from any company. I can recommend you a ball that's basically the exact same for another company. And you should never leave one company for another just because of the bowling balls, because they all make really, really good balls. But when I threw this Evoke Hysteria and I started to have thoughts about, I think I want to be on staff again. I think I want to only review one brand so that I can do more like other types of videos, not just every other video is a ball review. I thought to myself, well, this Evoke Hysteria is really good, and I want to keep throwing it. And lo and behold, I'm still throwing the Evoke Hysteria. So yeah, ball of the year for 2025, not even close. But on this list, it's number 2. Coming in at number 1, right? No shocker, no pun intended on that one. The Venom Shock is just, it's so good. Like, I don't even know. I don't know what to say. I'm trying to look here when it came out. It came out March 28th, 2014. So we're talking about year 11 going into year 12. Gear core, you know, 248034. Turmoil MFS solid comes out of box at 4,000. There's really nothing I can say. I actually just drilled another Venom Shock, which, if I had to think, is probably like my 8th all-time Venom Shock that I've drilled. I drilled this one two-handed, and I went with a different layout, which I haven't thrown it yet. I'm going to throw it tomorrow for the first time. But I drilled it 4.5 by 4.5 by 4 2LS. But yeah, Venom Shock, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about the Venom Shock. If you've never had one, where have you been? Go get one. You'll know what we're talking about. You've had 11 years to figure it out. Yeah, so Venom Shock number 1. Obviously, that was one of the easiest ones on the chart to talk about. But yeah, we're going to wrap this up here. If you're still watching, God, it's been 30 minutes almost. Thank you. But that is our top 21 bowling balls on the Motiv ball chart. My name is Lewis. Subscribe. If you're still watching and you're not subscribed, subscribe.